Mommy kiss.
It's these moments
Thank you.
Alexis Nelson relies on to get through one of the most challenging times of her life.
I've been sitting on my last $200 actually, and at the end of this month, I don't know what's gonna happen next.
Who is counting on you?
Just my daughter. She's here about to fall back asleep, but it's just she and I, so if I don't figure it out, then I don't know what's gonna happen.
Like hundreds of thousands of Virginians, this Colonial Heights single mother is out of work and options as she's been under the governor's stay-at-home order during the COVID-19 pandemic.
You know, at the end of the day, if our lease is up, I don't really know what that means. It's really up to my leasing apartments discretion what they want to do. So, you know, I don't know. And that's really scary, just not to know.
She's repeatedly applied for unemployment online and over the phone through the Virginia Employment Commission.
I haven't received any money.
Nelson assumed this monetary determination letter she received last month from the VEC meant she could finally start getting back on her feet.
I was doing my weekly claim as I was supposed to every Sunday, but I wasn't getting any of those payments. So
every day
I'm just really in the dark.
Has been spent online.
It's like a full-time job.
And on the phone seeking answers.
When you call, they'll play the little message and then the phone will automatically hang up on you. So you literally couldn't get through to anyone. They say that there's a queue that you're supposed to be being put into. I've been calling for weeks since the end of March, basically every single day.
CBS 6 wanted to see for ourselves.
Welcome to the Virginia Employment Commission Unemployment Insurance Claims Filing Services.
From the time we were connected until the time we were in fact disconnected.
Okay.
As Nelson claimed happened to her, 2 minutes, 47 seconds.
We were having a problem with a lot of people getting through because our system was only able to handle a certain number of calls. And we've upgraded that system, and the automated system is disconnecting them. It's not a staff person hanging up on them.
While VEC's Joyce Fogg acknowledges getting through on the phone is a challenge, she says the agency is working 7 days a week and has expanded along with the unprecedented demand over the last couple months.
Then we've hired back some retirees who are knowledgeable about the UI system. We've trained some of our existing staff and deployed them over into that area.
She says just because you receive a monetary determination does not necessarily mean you are eligible for unemployment.
They may have quit a job, they may have been fired from a job, they may not have enough wages within the past 4 quarters. There are some types of medical issues. So there are lots of outstanding issues that require further investigation into it to see if they're eligible.
And while the VEC could not specifically discuss Nelson's case,
What are you singing?
the CBS 6 problem solvers were able to connect this now relieved mother with an agent.
I'm very appreciative to you for making sure that, the people who have smaller voices are still heard more than anything.
Bye. See ya.
Nelson said while the VEC informed her that she wasn't eligible for traditional unemployment, she should be eligible for the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, or PEUC, in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, the VEC recommends that if you are filing a claim, you do so online, and they say you can always check the status of your claim with your assigned PIN. If you do have questions, you can email them at customerservice@vec.virginia.gov. But they say they are receiving up to 20,000 emails per day. We're told they are looking to contract with a third party to assist with those questions and expedite response times. Working for you, Laura French, CBS 6 News.
And this hit, and here I am.
Shelby Oates is one of the more than 760,000 Virginians left unemployed by the coronavirus pandemic.
I have no income coming in.
The Boys and Girls Club youth counselor was laid off April 3rd and, like thousands of others, encouraged to contact the Virginia Employment Commission.
I got an email saying that my application was received, they're processing it, and again, nothing. I want to throw things in here in the house. I get so frustrated with VEC. They just hang up on me.
CBS 6 was also disconnected when we attempted to connect with the VEC call center in our investigation into unemployment issues last month.
Okay.
Mommy kiss.
Our interview with this single mother.
Thank you. I've been sitting on my last $200 actually, and at the end of this month, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Led to
My name is Shelby Oates.
this email from Oates.
It's very frustrating not being able to speak to anyone about my application status.
I call every day, all day. I have also sent multiple emails to no avail.
I called them 26 times yesterday, I believe, and probably 10 today.
I've exhausted all of my resources at this point now. I'm asking
Help me.
And hundreds of other CBS 6 viewers who shared with us their frustrations with the VEC.
It's been over a month, and I got bills and everything. I'm getting behind. I don't know what to do.
And Governor Ralph Northam joins us now for a live interview.
CBS 6 questioned Governor Ralph Northam about your VEC complaints in an interview May 20th.
We're doing everything that we can, but I agree it's not a perfect situation. But I would just ask people to be patient.
Tell the creditors to be patient, because if we don't have the money to give them, how are we going to pay them? And if we aren't getting the unemployment that we need, on a weekly basis, like we need to get the money in to pay these people, how's it going to get done?
So CBS 6 once again took your concerns and emails to state leaders Tuesday to find out when it will get done for Oates and the thousands still waiting for answers.
We are working as hard as we can. We've actually had 760,000 Virginians file for unemployment. That's 100,000 more people than we saw through the whole Great Recession over years. We've had 2 new call centers come on board, each with around 315 people. Is our newest one that's coming on board next week to answer your calls and concerns.
But despite the VEC adding 2 additional call centers, hundreds of staff, and a dedicated team to respond to emails, unemployed Virginians like Oates say it's not enough.
The communication definitely is key to any and everything. If you just have someone that's able to speak to people that need to know, where do I stand? Is my application being processed? Did it not be processed? Did you receive it? Did you trash it? Did you lose it? I mean, like, where is it? Where do I stand, with this situation right now? So
the VEC expects the opening of the new call center next week will make it easier for claimants to get through, but they say the best way to check your claim is by logging into your account with your PIN. Since our last report, the monetary determination letter has been revised to state that it does not guarantee eligibility. Meanwhile, if you are waiting on pandemic emergency unemployment compensation or PEUC benefits, we're told you will be notified by text in the next couple weeks, and they are expected to get payouts the first week of July. Working for you, Laura French, CBS 6 News.
Jack Ferraro loves getting innovative with his Legos.
And this is what I came up with for a super suit.
The resourceful 9-year-old plays with these superheroes while his mom searches for work.
For the most part, I can apply to anywhere from 7 to 15 jobs a day.
Amanda Clemens has been out of work since mid-March.
The only times I do get worried is when she's crying on the floor.
Clemens says her employer terminated her shortly after she asked to take time off to get Jack set up to do virtual schooling when Richmond Public Schools closed due to COVID-19.
The teacher actually sent us a schedule for an 8-hour day with like an hour block for each activity laid out for us. And I was like, I'm working. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this.
Now jobless in the middle of a pandemic and a full-time single parent, Clemens immediately applied for unemployment benefits from the state.
I told them I had been terminated, and I told them the exact reason why. I received benefits for, I believe it was 8 weeks. It was close to a month and a half, 2 months. Then my benefits cut off randomly. During one of my weekly certifications, I was told that there was an error processing my claim due to an unresolved issue, and it had no further details.
Turns out Clemens' employer told the Virginia Employment Commission that she was actually fired for inconsistent and unreliable work. Under state statute, if you were fired for cause, you could be denied benefits. An employer would have to prove misconduct before benefits would be denied.
We established the issue, and that stops any additional payments from going out.
In a Zoom call, Bill Walton, the director of unemployment insurance services for the VEC, said that 60,000 people are currently in the same boat as Clemens. Their unemployment applications are on hold due to issues related to their claims. Those issues include everything from fraud to how they lost their job or refusal to go back to work.
Even though we're under this crisis of the pandemic, that has not waived all of the normal, issues of voluntary quits or terminations that have to have terminations on those.
That means the VEC has to investigate both sides of the story, talking to the employer as well as the claimant before making a decision about their benefits. Typically, that takes 2 weeks. But during the pandemic, with the agency trying to process more than 1 million claims for benefits, there is a huge backlog. Here's the governor's chief workforce advisor.
It's around 6 to 8 weeks, and that is a backup. We've moved around 10,000 people out of the appeals process, but there's lots of different, with our accounts, issues that we have to do research on and back up, but we are working on that to hire more people.
In the meantime, people like Amanda Clemens and her son can do nothing but wait.
Some days I get really anxious and I start worrying about all the what ifs, and then other days I'm like, breathe, it's gonna be fine, and I woo-saw, but it's different from day to day, and I just try to take it day to day.
Now, the VEC says last month they were able to work on about 1,600 claims with issues per week. But this month, they've gotten that number up to 5,000 claims with issues per week. And they're hoping that by early next month, they will be up to about 10,000 claims per week to help clear that backlog. Working for you, I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6.